Dear viewers of the Uganda Catholic Television, good news for all. Welcome to this program of responsible citizenship, responsible leadership, presented to you by the Justice and Peace Department of the Uganda Catholic Secretariat. Tonight's program is being presented to you by Mrs. Mary Aliba, Kyaterekera Amooti, the coordinator of Hoima Diocese Catholic Women Apostolate. The topic tonight is the responsibility and role of a woman in responsible citizenship and responsible leadership. Dear viewers, I am proud of being a woman, being born a woman, and being raised as a Catholic woman. You will all agree with me that everyone in society is a product of a woman. And it is the reason why we present this topic to you, to show the role and responsibility of a woman in this program of responsible citizenship and responsible leadership. A woman is, right from the time of creation, is created as a special creature, specially gifted, endowed with a number of gifts that she has to share with the rest of creation, especially humanity, because she is the mother of all human beings. If you can go back to the Old Testament, right from the book of Genesis, when God thought of creating the human species, he created man and woman. As it is said in Genesis 1:26-28, that let us make man in our own image, in our own likeness. But somewhere we see a statement that states he created them male and female, and commanded them to produce, fill the world and subdue it. This is what from here we see the importance of a woman in the role of responsible citizenship and responsible leadership. Man and woman are instructed to work together. All of us will bear me witness that when it comes to that responsibility of producing and filling the earth, the woman has a key role to play. In the previous topics, it was already said, where we presented responsible parenthood, where we presented the issue of work, the value of work, human dignity, and so many other topics that have already been presented here in the series of responsible citizenship and leadership. That man has something to do, commanded by God, but cannot play it alone, has to do it together with the woman. In bearing children, the woman has a big responsibility because, as I already said, she is created with special endowed with the special elements that make her or designate her to play an indispensable role in the family, in society. And therefore, her responsibility becomes key when we are talking about responsible citizenship. Look at where life begins. The woman is key. She conceives a life in her womb, cares for this unborn, and protects. It is her alone. Who knows? Who is totally responsible to safeguard that delicate life in the womb? So this takes a lot of sacrifice for a woman, and this makes her very important. And that's why I think society, everywhere, the woman is respected, highly respected, because she's a life giver. When we look at the Old Testament, we will see the value of women at family level, in society, in the communities where these women of great importance lived. For example, if I can begin with Eve, the first woman to be created, because we know in Genesis 2, it presents us with God creating Adam, giving him everything, and Adam does not show any kind of happiness. He's not a happy man. But God thinks and says what is missing, and he realized that Adam needed someone of his own, someone like him. And God makes Adam asleep, and he creates, he gets a rib out of his ribs and forms a woman. And that was Eve. And then he presents this woman to Adam. Adam was very, very happy and excited about seeing Eve. So what do we learn from this story? We learn that a woman is a source of joy and happiness wherever she is. That's why from the beginning I said I am proud of being created a woman, and more so a Catholic woman, a joy giver. Wherever a woman is, brings comfort. Just as we have already seen that Adam felt comfortable, felt joy and happiness at the presentation of Eve to him by God. Eve is presented to Adam as a suitable helper and companion. So the woman in this program of responsible citizenship is so handy, because she has to work together with man in bearing children, which children have to be brought up well into good citizens, responsible citizens, and responsible leaders. Right from the family setting to the community level and society, bigger society as at large. We do not only see Eve as being an important person playing a key role in the life of Adam, and so in the life of the family, but also other women like Sarah, the wife of Abraham. We see Sarah being so charitable, her virtue of humility to her husband and to God. More so, Sarah was able to welcome the angels in her home and prepared a meal for them. But which meal ended up bringing a blessing to this family, that they were promised a child, although they were at an advanced age. So a woman nurtures elements of human values that are critical in building responsible citizenship. From Sarah, we learn the virtue of charity and humility, the value of love. Because if she did not love Abraham, when Abraham told her to prepare something for the strangers, but who were angels from God, messengers of God to this family, then in humility she accepted, and at the end of the day, the plan of God was fulfilled in this family. So we see the importance of a woman in a home. Charity, humility, and then being able to respect and listen from the husband. These are the virtues that every woman should have and transfer to the life that we bring forth into the world. I can talk of Hannah, the mother of Samuel, her prayerful life, her patience. She was a childless woman and was married. Together with another, she had a co-wife. A co-wife had children, and Hannah did not have. But Hannah was so prayerful, she had strong faith, and promised God that if she was given a boy child, she would return this child to God in order to serve him. And she fulfilled this promise. So Hannah teaches us to be prayerful, to be faithful to our promises, and to be patient in whatever we do, to persevere in whatever we do. There are other women in the Old Testament. Esther, we have a story of Esther and Mordecai. Esther fighting for peace for her people of Israel, where they had been in exile, and they were going to be subjected to death innocently. But Esther, being a queen to the king of that land, she was able to plead for peace for her people. And this happened. Women of great importance in the Old Testament. And the other one I may talk about is Ruth. Ruth, we see Ruth with this virtue of generosity. She was so generous to her mother-in-law, Naomi, and this Naomi had lost all her children in a strange land, and when she thought of going back to her motherland, Ruth insisted and moved with her and said, I cannot leave you. Where you will be is where I will be. Where you will die is where I will die. Your people will be my people. With the element of supporting the old mother-in-law. But this paid off for Ruth. That when you look at the genealogy of Jesus, we see Ruth being in the line of bearing the ancestors of Jesus Christ. She is in the line. Why? Because of that generosity that she offered to her mother-in-law, and later came and God gave her a blessing. And when we look at the church history, we have very many women, great women who have made a lot, contributed a lot to the well-being of society, of the church. We have doctors of the church, like Catherine of Siena, Teresa of Avila. We have Mother Teresa, who contributed greatly. So, even today in our contemporary world, women are still contributing a lot to the well-being of the families to the well-being of the church, promoting great values. As I have already said, that a woman is a mother. A woman, whoever is created as a woman, is a mother. A mother is life-giving. And the mother does not only give life, but has to care for this life, has to protect this life from the time of conception until a child grows into a responsible adult. As already said, that this is not a simple task. It demands a lot. It is demanding. It requires the woman to sacrifice a lot. And where the woman sacrifices, then we expect good work. And it is this good work that gives us responsible citizens. Already noted that all of us are a product of a woman. All of us are a product of a woman. You know it very well that in childbearing, a woman bears both a boy and a girl. And she takes the responsibility of forming both of them in their different sexes, but have to become responsible citizens. This role is greatly played by the woman. Although helped by the husband, the father of the children, but the woman is key. As I already noted that from the time of conception, it's mainly the mother who provides the protection, because it's her who feels directly how the fetus in the womb is. Where there is pain, then she knows, and she must attend to that. Where there is something lacking, like many women, while pregnant, they can desire to have something special. And maybe she would say, I don't want beans anymore, but I want to eat chicken. This is her. Others feel it and ignore. But for a responsible mother, a responsible woman, when you feel it, you must take care of it. And this is where a woman becomes key in raising responsible children who grow up into responsible citizens. When something lacks at the time of pregnancy, this child, believe me or not, will grow up lacking something, and it may end up affecting the child throughout his or her life. So, women here are cautioned to take this responsibility seriously of bearing and nurturing children into responsible adulthood. You know that when someone grows something lacking, there are psychological issues that arise. And so they may not be good citizens. They may not be good people in society. For example, I'll give an example of when you find some people stealing. It may not be their desire to steal, but possibly the way they were brought up, the way the woman played her role, the way the mother played her role. We are always cautioned in human growth and development that whatever you do as a mother, when you are holding a pregnancy, is directly transferred or directly affects the child inside the womb. So if you steal, it is likely that that child will steal. Then if the child is born and you don't provide enough, it is likely that that element of stealing will continue. That habit will continue and the child grows into. So a thief cannot be treated as a responsible person. So in responsible citizenship, the woman should take it upon herself to play her role very well, especially as you are fulfilling that indispensable role God created you for, to bear new life, to nurture new life, to care for the new life, and make this new life a better person, a good person in society, and more so in the Catholic Church. As I've already noted that the woman needs support. She cannot bear all this alone. When we look at responsible parenthood, the woman cares, but has to be supported by the husband, by the father of the children, providing for all these that are needed for the mother to care for that life. As I've already noted in the Old Testament, these mothers, these great women played their role because they were greatly supported by their husbands. They were always together. And when we go back to the time of creation, God put it that way, that He gave Eve to Adam as a helper, a suitable helper, and a companion, that together they would promote the life-giving element that God created the family for. So, thank you very much, the viewers of the Uganda Catholic Television. As we are going in for the break, we shall come back yet to present to you continue with the role of the woman. Thank you. We are continuing with the role of a woman in responsible citizenship. Now we'll look at the great women in the New Testament, but with most reference to the Blessed Virgin Mary as our model. We, the Catholic women, what do we learn from her? Mother Mary gives us a good example of a model woman. She's a woman of great faith, a woman who sacrificed a lot and cooperated with God to fulfill the plan of salvation. In fact, in the Catholic Church, we treasure Mother Mary as the new Eve. So we see that from Mother Mary, a woman is to be a source of blessing. Wherever a woman is, you are created to be a source of blessing to all those around you. By your actions, by your word, by your thoughts, you are to give blessings, especially to our children. Every woman, whether you are a mother or not a mother, and in this case, whether you are barren, whether you are a single mother, whether you are married in a family, every woman is supposed to be a source of blessing. This is where responsible citizenship begins from. You bless those around you, and it is by this blessing that we transfer good virtues to our children, that we promote to be good citizens. This life you bring into force, you have to protect. When you protect, and protecting in every way, protecting our children physically so that they grow up physically upright, protecting them psychologically so that we give them good emotions, balanced emotions, feeding them very well, and also providing for their education. Teaching them good virtues, relationships. It is the mother, it is the woman in society that is responsible for building good relationships, establishing good relationships, and teaching the children on how to grow, to develop these relationships, protect them. The relationships that are important in building and developing good and responsible citizenship. When we talk of work, like in a home setting, as it is said, charity begins at home. The woman plays a very big role to train children to work, to value work. And so every responsible citizen has to value work, has to work in order to provide for a living. Even God put it that way. St. Paul tells us that for those who do not love to work, should not even eat. So the woman who gives life has to nurture children into responsible citizens in regard to work. You love work, you value work, so that you will be able to work for your personal living. When it comes to responsible stewardship, as rooted in Genesis 1, verse 26 to 28, humanity is given that responsibility. God says, let us create man in our own image, in our likeness. And he created them, male and female, and commanded them to produce, fill the world, and subdue it. That element of subduing is a responsibility. The man and woman are given that responsibility of subduing, of stewardship, building on what God has already put in place. We can call it procreation, we can call it co-creation. So, in this, the woman has a key role to nurture the children, that new life, into a responsible steward, to protect and make better what God has put before them. In our Catholic Church, we have been, Pope Francis has written an encyclical entitled Laudato Si, to love and protect our Mother Earth, our home, Mother Earth. It is us, the women, to train our children. We have a role, a key role to play. How do you make the children love the environment, protect the environment? In your home setting, how do you train them to preserve the environment. In the small gardens, in the small compound at home, what do you put there? What is the setting at home that make these women, make the children to learn from you as a mother to protect the environment? Because protecting the environment is one of the elements of responsible citizenship. Children have to be taught on responsible disposal of rubbish, of the plastics, of whatever kind of disposal that we have to dispose of in our homes. It begins from the home. Then we keep transferring it to the society. As I already noted that a woman is at the center of everything. In a home, a woman is a leader, a woman is an administrator. How you manage, how you lead in terms of prayer, training the young ones to promote their faith, to love their God, to love the life of prayer, it is the woman. Promoting the quality education of our children. These things you have done in a home setting, then when you transfer them, when you are looking at taking the children out to the larger community, to the school, which type of schools do you choose? Are those the schools that help the children to be formed very well, and holistic formation that will help them to become responsible citizens? As already noted that we look at Mother Mary as an example, protecting Jesus. Even when she was well aware that Jesus was the Son of God, but for every threat that came along, Mother Mary was outstanding, carrying Jesus to Egypt to provide protection. When Jesus got lost in Jerusalem, Mother Mary took lead to look for him until he was found. This we learn from the model woman, Mother Mary. Protecting life. You imagine a woman who thinks and promotes abortion. Mother Teresa says, if the mother can kill, then what is left of me to kill you or you to kill me? So women, as women of virtue, more so Catholic women, we are supposed to be to protect life, to nurture life, and give those virtues that form children into responsible adulthood. Virtues of respect. A woman is naturally to be respectful. That's why you don't have to dress in any way. A woman, you have to appear in public as modest as possible. So that, because you know, wherever you are a teacher, you are a mentor. Many look up to you to learn something good from you. But more especially, you are a mother. Everyone, whether man or woman, they all look at a woman as a mother. No wonder in the Women's National Anthem it is said, we are the proud mothers of the nation, the backbone without which it cannot stand. We are the proud mothers of the nation, the backbone without which it cannot stand. To me, that one makes me so proud that everyone looks at you, a woman, looks at me as a woman, as someone so valuable to society, a mother of the nation, a mother of the church, because it is us, the women, who produce children and raise them to support, to be good Christians in the church, to be good citizens in the country, to be good members of the community. And it is clearly said, the backbone without which it cannot stand. So we are the backbone. That role we play is not a small role. And so we should take it with utmost attention. Give it the value it deserves. A woman must not at any moment drift from that responsibility, because it is indispensable. For example, if it comes to breastfeeding, nobody will ever breastfeed except the mother. You will never meet a man with breasts. Yes, they have, but breasts that hold milk. Like for me, when I'm moving, I always say breastfeeding. I have moved with my child's flask, because God has made it that way. It is an indispensable role that you can never sacrifice. However much some men these days are want to become women, to be like women, but there are those elements that you cannot transfer. You cannot take on yourselves. No, they have to remain. They are peculiar to women. And it is us, the women, who have to fulfill the responsibility for which those features were given to us by God. Mothers of the nation, the backbone without which it cannot stand. So feeding the nation, it is us. I have read about the pastoral letter that was written by our Catholic bishops of Uganda in 1996. And in that letter, the bishops, it is entitled, "Be My Witnesses, the Vocation and Mission of Women in the Church and Society." And in that letter, the bishop well explained that how the woman is very important and key in society. And these bishops wrote that letter after interacting with so many women of different status in life. The mothers, women at family level, women in leadership, and women in politics, women in business. And I saw that women were contributing a lot to the development of the nation, to the growth of the church. And I said women greatly contribute to the development of agriculture, because this is the basis of feeding the nation. And the bishops encouraged that the church leaders, the community leaders, the government, the political leaders, everywhere, all leaders to give support to the women. And for the church in particular, to give the required formation, the holistic formation to the women. At another level, the girl child to be formed very well, so that she is prepared to fulfill the responsibility for which she is created, for which she is meant for in society, beginning at family level, at community level, in the church, and in the country as well. The bishops recommended that the girl child has to be given that holistic education that prepares her to form, to take care of the life she brings forth into. Because if the woman is well formed, it is this woman who will give us the quality of the citizen that we need. It is this woman that will give us the Christian, the Catholic that we need in the church. And the product of a woman is what will make the future church, is what will make the future nation. So this is a calling to all the leaders at all levels and in different institutions to realize the importance of a woman in raising or promoting responsible citizenship and responsible leadership. Towards the women, as I'm coming to the end of our program, we need to also recognize and promote our dignity as women. Bearing in mind that we are mothers, we are life givers, we are mentors, we are teachers, wherever we are. So we have to be very careful in whatever we do, so that we give the best to society. Whether you have a child, a biological child or not, but I have seen that in one way or the other, a woman, whoever is created a woman, you cannot escape participating in raising up children, mentoring children, and supporting children to grow into better citizens or into good citizens. For example, some men, sometimes things can happen in a home, and a man will say, yes, I don't want you in my home, now you go away and don't take my children. Yes, the woman will leave, but in a short while, you will find these children to the sister of this man, to the mother, or some of them are so brave that they will carry the children after some weeks or months or even years back to the mother, wherever she is. This is a clear example that shows that in the child upbringing, a woman plays a very big role, that which should not be taken for granted, but should be valued, respected, and therefore calls for support from each one of us. Women, let's support our fellow women to fulfill this role very well, so that we provide the church with good Christians, responsible Christians, so that we provide the country with good and responsible citizens, responsible leaders. I want to thank you, dear viewers of the Uganda Catholic Television. Thank you for following us on the Uganda Catholic Television, Good News for All. Now we come to the end of this program, and I wish you the best and ask you to continue viewing Uganda Catholic Television, Good News for All. I am once again Mrs. Mary Aliba Kyaterekera Amooti, who was presenting to you the topic of tonight, the role of a woman in responsible citizenship, responsible leadership.